Right, welcome back to another Buzzy video. I'm sorry I still haven't worked out why this is Buzzy. But this video anyway is going to move on from the last video that looked at effects and transitions, and is going to look at effects kind of over time, how we can change effects and make those effects even better. Okay, so last time we had some effects on this picture. Okay, I've just got rid of those effects. I've taken those effects off for this video. I don't like the way this runs at the moment. You've got a picture there and some explosions in the bottom right corner, which to me isn't great. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get that over the top, but so you can still see these planes. So like before, select which clip you want, so explosion 2, click on it, we can make it bigger and position it into the position that we want. It's maybe a little bit too big, so position this just here. Click off of that. I now select explosion 2, but now I go to effect controls. We don't have an effect there to change, but we do have these others. And the one here I've just clicked the downward arrow for is opacity. That's transparency, or how much you can see through it. So I'm going to change that to 30. If I click off, you can see now, you can see through this image. So if we drag this back to the start, when you run it, you can see the explosions behind, but you can actually see the image through. So it looks a lot more effective. Okay. Now to show the power of war, what I actually want to do is I want to start with the explosions not being very see-through and get them more and more see-through, more and more visible, sorry, not see-through, more and more visible as the effect goes on. Okay? So we're going to use this line up here. We've got the timer here and it relates to that one. We're going to drag to the start. I'm going to put in what is called a keyframe. And if we click that little clock, a little button appears which is a keyframe. So now that keyframe will start at 30. If I move this across somewhere else, like towards the end here, if I change that setting to 100, you will notice a second keyframe appears here. What this is doing is automatically working out how see-through it should be from 30 at this keyframe to 100 at this keyframe. And you'll notice just here, if you look at the number, that actually changes up and down. So if I play that, as it goes on, you should notice that these explosions are getting brighter and brighter and brighter and starting to get lighter than the actual image that's behind it. And you're starting to lose the image now as these explosions get brighter and brighter and brighter to a point where there's hardly any of the plane that you can see, and you get to a point at 100% where you can't see it. Okay. Another thing we might do, and for this I'm going to add that picture of the Battle of Britain in again, right to the start here, is you can use the motion one. So I've dragged that in, and click on motion. Notice that I can't see what I've selected because the timeline point isn't on it yet, so I have to drag this back. I'm going to also drag this explosion up. There, and that will sort that out for me. I'll make this a little bit smaller again. I want this plane to move from one side to the other, and we're going to use exactly the same thing, this time using motion. Click the arrow, and you've got a position there. So I'm going to drag the position to just off screen, and with my point right at the start, I'm going to click timer next to position. I'm then going to drag across and move my timer later on, and drag my image across, and you notice you've got a little line that appears there. That's just telling you the motion that it's taking. So once we've done that, we can click off. If we go back to the start, it starts from one end and then it actually moves across. Okay, so we're going to move this explosion further on. I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to have it coming towards the screen. So I'm going to select this one, we're going to make it small. It's quite tiny down there now. So much so that it's quite hard to move. Perhaps I made it too small to move, so what you... actually not made it too small to move. Pop that there. And again, this time with motion, but this time scale. We're going to use scale. We're going to click the little sign there. We're going to go towards the end. Drag that bigger. Again, it's put the keyframe in. When I click off, let's drag this back. We'll run it again. It starts off small and comes towards you. Okay, you can also have a go at doing that with effects that you've added on. But basically that's it for the moment. That should be able to help you make your images more transparent so they can see through them from one image to the one behind, and also that you can move images from left to right or make them bigger. Okay, and again, making your movie more exciting, and it's moving away from the limitations of Movie Maker towards something a lot more creative.